Today, we're going to talk about gods, not the ancient ones, but the modern ones we worship every single day, often without even knowing it. And you'll see how a very old blueprint is still running the whole show. So let's dive right in by looking at two, well, seemingly unrelated scenes of really intense devotion. First, just picture the feeling of an online flame war. You know the one, that white-hot, absolute certainty that your idea, your side, your political figure is 100% right. Any disagreement isn't just a different opinion. No, it's treated as pure evil. You're fighting for something you hold sacred. Now, let's jump way back. Imagine a terrified crowd at the bottom of a mountain. Their leader's gone, they feel lost, abandoned in the wilderness. So what do? They gather up all their gold and forge a calf, a statue. They pour every ounce of their fear and hope into this one solid thing and declare, This is what will save us. So, what on earth does that social media battle have to do with a golden statue from 3,000 years ago? Well, the connection is everything. It's the exact same deep-seated human wiring at play. Both are products of a mind that is, as one theologian famously put it, a perpetual factory for making idols. To really get this, you have to completely ditch the idea that an idol is just some statue in a museum. It is so much deeper and way more personal than that. The reformer Martin Luther gave us this incredible litmus test. Your God is whatever your heart clings to for its ultimate safety and meaning. It's the thing you rely on, the thing you trust to save you when you're truly afraid. And that could be anything, your career, money, a political party, even an abstract idea. Okay, so here is the absolute key. Idolatry is taking one small, finite piece of reality and blowing it up to be the entire reality. We take something good and we make it the ultimate thing. We make these little mini-gods, we wrap our identity up in them, and then we will defend them to the death against anyone who thinks differently. And this is precisely what the theologian John Calvin meant. This isn't some rare bug in our system, it's a feature. He said our minds are constantly, perpetually churning out these idols, elevating things to a level of importance they were never meant to hold. Right, so why is this internal idol factory of ours always open for business? What is it inside of us that drives this constant need to create something to worship? Well, it really all starts with the fundamental pressure of being human. We live with fear, with uncertainty, with the knowledge that our time here is limited. And because of that, we desperately crave a simple, powerful answer that makes us feel like we have some control. So we find a candidate, an idea, a leader, a system, and we project all of our hopes onto it until that thing becomes sacred, untouchable. You know, psychology actually has a name for this. It's called the need for cognitive closure. Just think of it as a deep, profound allergy to ambiguity. That feeling of not knowing is so uncomfortable, so anxiety-inducing, that our brains will grab the first, simple, firm answer available, just to make that discomfort go away. And this whole process happens in two stages. First, we seize an idea. Then, and this is the dangerous part, we freeze it into place. We stop asking questions, we stop listening to other points of view, and we start building these echo chambers around ourselves where our chosen idol is constantly reinforced, and anything that challenges it is viciously attacked. The philosopher Hegel had this brilliant way of describing this trap. He used two German words, Verstand and Vernunft. Think of Verstand as the part of your mind that likes to analyze things by putting them into neat, separate boxes. It's very either-or, and it's useful. But if it's the only tool you use, you get stuck. You start treating one box as the only box that matters. True wisdom, what he called Vernunft, is the ability to see how all the different boxes are connected into a much bigger, messier, but more complete picture. And getting stuck in that either-or thinking, well, it's not just some abstract philosophical mistake. When you elevate one part of reality to the status of a god, it always comes at a terrifyingly high price. Just take a look at this. What is so striking, so chilling, is the consistency across thousands of years. It doesn't matter if it's a golden calf offering visible security or the modern nation-state offering absolute purpose. The function is always the same. Give us a simple, certain answer to our deepest anxieties. And look at the consequences. They're just as consistent. Division, violence, and the persecution of anyone who refuses to bow down. We see a softer version of this every single day in what's been called the tyranny of metrics. Think about it. When we make a number, profits, test scores, online clicks, the ultimate goal, the thing we worship, we always end up sacrificing the important stuff that can't be measured, like creativity, compassion, or ethical courage. We actually become alienated from our own humanity. And that, of course, brings us to the most chilling endpoint of all this. As the philosopher Hannah Arendt warned us, totalitarianism is just idolatry made into a political system. It's what happens when an entire society takes one single idea, race, or history, or the state, and follows its ice-cold logic all the way to its brutal conclusion, crushing the beautiful, messy reality of actual human lives in the process. So, if our minds are basically idol-making factories, and the stakes are literally life and death, is there any way out? How in the world do we break the spell of these false gods? Well, the first step is a healthy dose of something called epistemic humility. It sounds fancy, but it's actually really simple. It's the profound, mature recognition that you could be wrong. It's having the strength to say, my deepest, most cherished belief might be flawed. And that transforms disagreement from a threat into an opportunity to learn. From there, you can build a crucial skill, ambiguity tolerance. Think of it as a mental and emotional muscle. It's the ability to live in a complex, contradictory world without desperately needing a simple enemy or a perfect all-in-one solution. Honestly, it's a core requirement for a healthy mind and for a functioning democracy. And maybe the deepest antidote of all is to try and shift our entire relationship to the world. To move away from this constant need to control, to measure, to optimize everything around us, and move towards a state of what some call resonance, where the goal isn't to conquer life, but to connect with it, to listen to it, and to be in a real, responsive relationship with it. Which brings us to the final, and really, the only question that matters for each of us. Since we all have one of these idol factories working away in our minds, what is your factory producing right now? Because simply identifying the little gods we're serving is the first and most powerful step toward reclaiming our own freedom.